Have a look at the French newspapers today. They're all talking about education today. Lots of reaction to the PISA study. It's the Programme for International Student Assessment. Comes out every year from the OECD, Alison, doesn't it? French papers not too pleased with the country's results here.
They're not, Stuart. France came in 26th place this year in math and science. That was the main focus of this year's study, and that's neither worse nor better than in 2013, the last time the study came out. You can see on the front page of the Figaro, La France toujours aussi médiocre. France is mediocre as ever. And why is that? Well, in its editorial, the right-wing paper has some ideas. They blame the egalitarianism of the country's education minister, Najat Vallaud-Belkacem. According to the Figaro, France is sacrificing merit in the name of social equality, which is in effect dragging down the higher-achieving students rather than bringing the other ones up.
Now, one of the ironies, though, that France found to have an extremely high rate of inequality amongst students. It's amongst the top and the bottom, isn't it?
That's true. It turns out children in France take their social equalities with them to school, and that's very worrying to France's business paper, Les Echos. The OECD dresse un bilan d'inquiétude d'inégalité. The OECD reveals worrying inequalities. A student from a lower income family is 4 times as likely to struggle in school in France. That's compared to on average, in other countries looked at by the OECD, they're only 3 times as likely to struggle. So inequality is everywhere, but especially here in France. The paper also reminds us, though, that it's not all bad. They give more nuance in the Figaro, and they say that French students have actually been progressing in reading comprehension since 2009.
OK, good to have some good news as well. A couple of papers offering some solutions, aren't they, for France's education system?
Yeah, France's Catholic paper, La Croix, wants to make failure fail, faire échec à l'échec. They publish suggestions from a foundation here in France that works to bring struggling students up to grade level. They call for looking at each student's personal case and making them a plan that's adapted to suit their specific needs to get them back on track.
OK, let's talk about the other big story in the French newspapers today. This is yesterday's mini cabinet reshuffle here in France, of course. The Interior Minister, Bernard Cazeneuve, replacing Manuel Valls as Prime Minister so that Manuel Valls can then run for President.
Right. Le Figaro's editorial calls it a very safe choice. Bernard Cazeneuve is said to be one of Hollande's most loyal cabinet members. The right-wing daily says that Cazeneuve was the choice of loyalty and stability. They also point out the irony that Bernard Cazeneuve had actually just recently announced that he plans to leave political life at the end of the term and go back to being a lawyer. So he and Hollande are kind of a good match. They're both ready to buckle down and finish up the year before bowing out of political life.
And Alison's found us a good little snippet to remember this by, because Bernard Cazeneuve will also be carrying out, in fact, the shortest term as Prime Minister in modern French history, won't he?
Yeah, he'll have about 5 months to make his mark, and L'Opinion takes a look at what he'll actually be able to get done in that time. They say, ce qui peut changer en 150 jours. What can he change in 150 days? According to the paper, he won't have time to make any reforms, but L'Opinion also warns that he won't be satisfied by just continuing the work that he's inherited, so he could end up playing a key political role.
OK, we're going to go up there now, up to space. France's astronaut, Thomas Pesquet, has been very, very active on social media.
He has. Thomas Pesquet has been posting about a photo a day on Twitter, documenting daily life on board the International Space Station. We have one nice photo to share with you. It's a picture of the Nile. It's the Nile all lit up at night.
The delta looks amazing, doesn't it?
But it's not all glamorous. There's also a photo of him that he sent out repairing the space station's toilets.
Right.
So, yeah, Thomas Pesquet, he speaks 6 languages and he has a diploma from a very prestigious engineering school, but he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. So that makes him quite a good role model for all those French students needing motivation to do better in math and science.
I wonder if it was blocked if you had to get the coat hanger out. So that's what you have to do usually, isn't it? The astronaut's coat hanger. All right, thank you very much, Alison. Alison Sargent looking at the French newspapers for us here on France 24.